Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm delighted to have you here today. Today's presentation is titled Lifecycle Management of Pharmaceutical Dosage Forms, and I'm Dr. S.K. Singh. Over the course of this session, we will explore the key concepts and strategies involved in managing pharmaceutical dosage forms throughout their life cycle. We'll look at the stages from development to manufacturing, stability, and eventual discontinuation. I hope you find this session insightful and engaging. Let's get started. Lifecycle management, or LCM, is all about having a continuous, comprehensive oversight of a product from the very beginning, when it's discovered, right through to when it hits the market and even beyond. It's not just a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process that integrates quality, regulatory, and commercial considerations throughout the product's life. This approach helps ensure that the product remains robust, compliant with all necessary regulations, and that the supply chain stays uninterrupted. It's really about managing the entire life cycle to deliver the best outcomes for patients and manufacturers alike. Regulatory agencies now expect us to demonstrate continuous control over our products, not just prove compliance at one point in time. Effective lifecycle management ultimately guarantees product quality, patient safety, and consistent supply, cornerstones of successful pharmaceutical development and commercialization. Let's take a closer look at the R&D phase overview. The main objective here is to establish a dosage form that is not only safe and effective, but also stable and feasible to manufacture. This involves several key steps. First, we conduct preformulation and API characterization to understand the properties of the active ingredient and how it behaves in different conditions. Next, we define the target product profile, which outlines what we want the final product to achieve, and then translate that into a quality target product profile, or QTPP, which focuses on the quality aspects we need to ensure. A critical part of this phase is identifying the critical quality attributes, or CQAs. These are the characteristics of the product that are essential to ensure its safety, efficacy, and quality. Recognizing these attributes early on guides the formulation process and helps us develop a robust manufacturing process. Overall, this phase is about laying a solid foundation, making sure we understand the product's requirements thoroughly so that we can develop a dosage form that meets all safety, effectiveness, and quality standards. Let's talk about preformulation science, which is a crucial step in the drug development process. Here, we focus on understanding the API, or active pharmaceutical ingredient, along with the excipients we plan to use. It's essential to grasp properties like solubility, polymorphism, pKa, and stability, because these factors directly influence how the drug behaves and its overall effectiveness. Solubility, for instance, determines how well the API dissolves in bodily fluids, which impacts absorption. Polymorphism refers to different crystal forms of the same compound, which can affect solubility and stability. pKa helps us understand the ionization state of the API at different pH levels, guiding formulation choices. And stability is about ensuring the API maintains its integrity throughout manufacturing, storage, and use. Another key aspect is excipients compatibility. We need to verify that the excipients we select won't cause degradation or negatively impact the drug's performance. Compatibility studies help us identify potential issues early, avoiding problems during scale-up and commercial production. Finally, the selection of excipients is based on the biopharmaceutic needs of the formulation. This means choosing components that support optimal absorption, stability, and overall efficacy. In essence, preformulation studies lay the groundwork for a successful, safe, and effective final product. Let's talk about formulation development, which is a critical part of bringing a new product to life. It all starts with designing and optimizing the dosage form to ensure it consistently meets the critical quality attributes, or CQAs. These are the key features that define product quality, safety, and efficacy. One of the main tools we use here is design of experiments, or DEWE. This approach helps us understand how different material attributes and process parameters influence the final product. By systematically studying these factors, we can identify the optimal conditions that produce the best quality. In addition, we focus on in-process controls and early risk assessments. These steps are essential for catching potential issues early on and ensuring our process remains robust and compliant as we scale up production. Overall, formulation development is about creating a scientifically grounded, optimized process that minimizes risks and provides regulatory flexibility. This foundation supports the entire development journey and ultimately helps us deliver safe, effective products to patients. Now, let's talk about the importance of analytical support in ensuring product quality. One of the key aspects is developing and validating analytical methods. These methods need to be reliable and accurate, so we can trust the data they produce. It's especially critical that these methods are stability indicating, meaning they can detect even small changes in the product over time, which helps us ensure ongoing quality. We also rely heavily on stability indicating assays to monitor how our products hold up under different conditions. This way, we can identify any degradation products or stability issues early on. Another vital component is dissolution testing, which predicts how the drug will perform inside the body. It's a crucial tool for ensuring batch-to-batch consistency, particularly when scaling up production or making post-approval changes. This testing helps us confirm that the product will work as intended and maintain its quality throughout its life cycle. Overall, these analytical methods form the backbone of quality assurance, helping us deliver safe, effective, and consistent products to patients. Let's talk about risk management tools and regulatory expectations. As outlined in ICH Q9, quality risk management is a critical process that helps us identify, evaluate, and control risks to product quality throughout the life cycle. It's not a one-time activity, but an ongoing, dynamic process that adapts as new information becomes available. Tools like FMEA, or failure mode and effects analysis, are incredibly useful for systematically assessing potential failure points and their impacts. Fishbone diagrams, also known as Ishikawa diagrams, help us visually explore root causes of risks. These tools enable us to prioritize risks effectively and develop appropriate control strategies. An important point to remember is that linking these risks directly to controls in both the design and manufacturing processes is essential. This integration ensures that risk mitigation is built into the product from the outset and maintained throughout production. Regulators expect us to treat risk management as a living process, something that continues from development through to post-market. This means regularly updating our risk assessments and controls as new risks emerge or as process improvements are made. So, in essence, effective risk management is about being proactive, systematic, and adaptable, key to maintaining product quality and ensuring patient safety. Let's talk about scale-up fundamentals. Moving from lab to pilot to commercial production is a crucial step in bringing a product to market. The key here is to ensure that we maintain the critical quality attributes, or CQAs, throughout this process. This means applying core scale principles, such as equipment selection and ensuring its equivalence, so that the process remains consistent. Adjusting process parameters thoughtfully is also essential. What works at a small scale might need tweaking as we grow, but we have to do this carefully to preserve product quality. Additionally, we need to consider regulatory impacts, because as we scale up, regulatory expectations can influence our choices and design. Ultimately, the challenge is translating what we learn in the lab into larger-scale operations without losing control over the critical factors that define product quality. Scientific understanding of critical process parameters, or CPPs, and their influence on CQAs is absolutely vital to avoid failures during this transition. By focusing on these fundamentals, we can make the scale-up process more predictable and successful, ensuring that the product we deliver meets the highest standards. Let's talk about technology transfer, which is a crucial step from R&D to manufacturing. The goal here is to ensure that all the product knowledge developed in R&D is communicated clearly and effectively to the manufacturing team. This involves thorough documentation, such as batch records, specifications, and control strategies, which serve as the foundation for a smooth transfer process. We also use transfer reports and bridging studies to confirm that the manufacturing process performs as expected when moving from development to production. An important part of this is defining roles and responsibilities in the transfer planning, so everyone knows their tasks and accountability. Overall, successful technology transfer minimizes deviations during production, reduces validation failures, and helps us stay compliant with regulatory requirements. It's about making sure that what was developed in R&D is reliably and consistently manufactured on a larger scale. This step connects directly to the overall theme of quality, consistency, and compliance in our product lifecycle. Process validation is a critical part of ensuring product quality, and it's guided by FDA and ICH expectations. The key idea here is that process validation follows a lifecycle model, which means it's not a one-time event but an ongoing process. It starts with process design, where we develop and refine the process to meet quality standards. Then, we move into process qualification, which confirms that the process works as intended under real conditions. After that, we have continued process verification, where we keep monitoring the process during routine production to ensure it remains in control. A crucial part of this is the PPQ, or Process Performance Qualification batches, which are the actual batches used to demonstrate that the process can consistently produce quality product. We set acceptance criteria for these batches to verify success. Lastly, statistical tools and trend analysis are now essential. They help us interpret data from ongoing monitoring, identify any deviations early, and ensure the process stays in control. This approach, emphasizing continuous oversight, aligns with current regulatory expectations and underscores the importance of a proactive quality mindset throughout the product lifecycle. Now let's talk about commercial manufacturing. This stage is all about ensuring that we produce products consistently and reliably under current good manufacturing practice, or CGMP, conditions. It's critical to have strong process controls in place, things like monitoring equipment, procedures, and personnel to make sure everything runs smoothly. In-process monitoring and control charts are essential tools. They help us keep an eye on the process in real time and catch any deviations early on. Speaking of deviations, handling them promptly and effectively is vital, and that's where CAPA, or corrective and preventive actions, come into play. They help us investigate issues thoroughly and prevent recurrence. Documentation and change control are also key. Proper documentation ensures traceability and accountability, while change control helps us manage modifications without compromising quality. Overall, maintaining data integrity, thorough documentation, and well-trained personnel are the backbone of staying compliant and ready for inspections. All these elements together ensure that our manufacturing process is not only efficient, but also compliant with regulatory standards, supporting the overall integrity of our product and our reputation. When it comes to regulatory submissions and compliance, there are a few key areas we need to focus on. First, filing and post-approval processes are critical, whether you're dealing with CTA, IND, ANDA, NDA, or MAA submissions. Each of these has specific expectations that need to be met to ensure a smooth review process. In particular, Module 3 of the regulatory dossier is where all the drug product details are compiled. This includes formulation and process data, which are essential for demonstrating how the product is made and why it's stable and effective. Regulators look for clear and justified explanations of the formulation design, the controls in place during manufacturing, and the stability strategy you've adopted. Speaking of stability, your stability commitment and how you handle post-approval changes are also vital. Post-approval changes must follow established change management procedures, such as the SUPAC guidelines or other variation regulations. This ensures that any modifications to the manufacturing process or formulation are properly justified and documented, maintaining product quality and compliance throughout its life cycle. Overall, all this development and manufacturing data need to be carefully organized and presented in the regulatory submissions. This not only facilitates approval, but also demonstrates your commitment to quality and compliance. Remember, regulators expect transparency and thoroughness, especially when it comes to changes after approval. Now let's talk about lifecycle optimization. This is all about continuous improvement, which doesn't stop once your product hits the market. Instead, we keep refining and enhancing our processes over time. One of the key tools we use here is real manufacturing data, often called CPV, or continuous process verification. This data helps us identify areas where we can make adjustments and improvements. Change management is also critical. We need to carefully analyze trends and perform risk reviews to ensure that any modifications we make actually strengthen our process without introducing new issues. Most importantly, we aim for cost optimization, finding ways to reduce expenses without compromising the quality of our product. Remember, lifecycle management is an ongoing journey. Regulatory agencies are supportive of these scientifically justified improvements, but only if we follow proper change control procedures and meet our regulatory commitments. This way, we ensure continuous enhancement while maintaining compliance and quality. Let's take a closer look at the key guidelines and standards that form the foundation of lifecycle management. As we discussed earlier, ICH guidelines play a crucial role here. Starting with ICH Q8, which emphasizes a scientific approach to pharmaceutical development. This means designing products and processes based on solid scientific understanding, which helps ensure quality from the start. Next is ICH Q9, focusing on quality risk management. This guideline encourages us to proactively identify, evaluate, and control risks throughout the product lifecycle. It's about making informed decisions to maintain quality and safety. Then we have ICH Q10, which establishes a comprehensive pharmaceutical quality system. This system integrates all quality-related activities and ensures consistent product quality over time. It emphasizes a holistic, risk-based, and knowledge-driven approach, something regulators worldwide strongly support. Connecting these guidelines is key. They collectively promote a lifecycle management strategy that's scientific, risk-based, and transparent. They help us build robust processes and foster continuous improvement, aligning with global regulatory expectations. And alongside these, we also need to keep in mind FDA, EMA, and India CGMP requirements, which set the regulatory standards for manufacturing practices worldwide. Together, these guidelines and standards help us ensure that quality is built into every stage of a product's life cycle, supporting safe and effective medicines for patients everywhere. Let's take a moment to look at the key points here. Lifecycle management, or LCM, really brings together several critical aspects: science, regulation, quality, and business needs. It's about ensuring that all these elements work harmoniously throughout the product's life cycle. The importance of a quality by design, or QBD, approach and risk-based control cannot be overstated. They help us proactively identify and mitigate potential issues early on, leading to more reliable and consistent product quality. Another vital point is the need for smooth scale-up and effective technology transfer. These steps are crucial because they ensure that our processes can move from development to manufacturing seamlessly, without unnecessary delays or quality lapses. Continuous monitoring is also key. By constantly tracking our processes and products, we can maintain compliance and ensure a steady supply, which is vital for meeting market demands and regulatory expectations. In summary, lifecycle management is about integrating science, quality systems, and regulatory compliance across all stages, from R&D through scale-up and manufacturing. Adopting a QBD and risk-based approach helps us achieve smoother scale-up, fewer regulatory issues, and sustained product quality. And of course, continuous monitoring and ongoing improvement are essential for long-term success. All these elements together form the foundation for a robust and resilient product lifecycle, aligning with our overall goal of delivering safe, effective, and high-quality products to the market. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional information you might need. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you all for your time and attention today. Your engagement is what makes these discussions meaningful. Remember, we're committed to supporting you every step of the way as you apply these concepts. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything. Thank you once again, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.